A warning?
There ain't nothing to worry about.
I'm worried that you work in an office. Have children. Celebrate wedding anniversaries. The world of heterosexual is a sick and boring life.
This summer, take a trip back to 1981 with the special people who made summer camp unforgettable.
You guys aren't supposed to be out of your bunks. You're in trouble.
The camp director.
4 campers are stuck in the ropes course. I meant to tell you about that yesterday. Did you get to it now?
The counselors.
Wait for me, Abby Bernstein. Wait for me, my darling.
Wait. I just want to take off my shirt.
The kitchen staff.
Finish up the taters. I'm gonna go fondle my sweaters.
Come on, what? You said you were gonna go fondle your sweaters.
No, I didn't.
The water sports.
Hey, Andy, can I take out the body bag?
Sure.
The nature hikes.
Ow! Ow!
And of course, who can forget the sex, the muggings, the cover-ups, the malaria, the psychotherapy.
Hello.
And the friendships that last a lifetime.
We want you to be the guest of honor at our wedding next week.
From USA Films and creators of TV's The State.
A renegade piece of Skylab heading right for the camp.
Oh my God.
It could kill us all.
Janeane Garofalo, David Hyde Pierce, Paul Rudd, Christopher Meloni, and Molly Shannon.
Andy, have you seen my swimming buddy?
I was busy.
It's your job to make sure kids don't drown. Where are we going?
To a big secret pizza party?
Wet, hot American summer.
Welcome back to the show, listeners.
Welcome back.
It's the 4th of July.
4th of July, actually on the 4th of July.
Yes, indeed. 4th of July is on the 4th of July.
This movie definitely makes me proud to be an American.
Well, this is about the only thing.
Right?
But we're here, we're recording. I will watch this movie any day of the week, so you don't need to give me a reason. Listeners, my name's Pete.
And I'm Scott, and these are the movies that made us gay. Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Wet Hot American Summer.
Wet Hot American Summer.
Really good movie to watch around.
This movie is 24 years old.
4th of July. 24 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, written and directed by David Wain, also written by Michael Showalter.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Showalter and David Wain co-wrote this movie. Debuted at Sundance January of 2001. Went on to a limited theatrical release July 27th, 2001.
Yes, indeed.
I would love to talk to someone that got to see this movie in the theater.
I don't know. I mean, I was in LA in 2001, the summer that this came out,
I would
or
think
whatever
it probably played at the
time
Sunset
of year
5.
that this came out, and this was not in a lot of theaters. So it's not like it was easy for people to go and see it. I didn't get around to it until DVD. I bought it sight unseen. I had
really,
I read a review that trashed it, and it was the LA Weekly, I think, which was like a cool, newspaper, and a bunch of other reviews trashed it. But I watched The State in high school. David Wain and Michael Showalter and Michael Ian Black and Ken Marino and Joe Latruglio and all of them.
All of them.
Carrie Kinney, who is absent from this movie, unless you have the special features, which we do. So, being that I knew The State, and I knew Janeane, and I even knew Paul Rudd at that time in 95, so I was like, well, fuck yeah, I'm going to like this movie. And I don't give a shit if it's got bad reviews. Like, friggin' Airplane and Naked Gun have better reviews, and I like those movies. So I bought it at a Blockbuster, because I was like, I don't know where the hell else I'm going to find this. Probably Tower. I'm sure it was like Tower or whatever. But I was at Blockbuster at my dad's in Marino Valley.
Is it the copy that we still have to this day that we watched this afternoon?
Yeah, it sure is. Bought it and made sure to show it to all of my friends. And to this day, it's kind of a litmus test of like, if you've seen this movie, if you like this movie, then you're cool and we can get along. If you're not familiar with these people or the state or this movie, then what are you doing with your life?
Mm-hmm.
Go find it and watch it now. What about you?
So I was a little too young for the state.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when that aired on MTV, it probably only just realistically aired.
You were 7.
Its first run. But what I'm saying is that I was watching MTV when I was a kid, around 10 years old, but I don't think that that show really re-aired a lot.
Yeah,
it was
I think
probably
once it was done,
its
it was
initial
off.
run,
Yeah.
and then it was off the air.
Yeah.
But I knew of this movie from our video store.
Yeah.
That I always remember seeing it in the comedy section.
The cover is so
The cover is so ridiculous, and it is very
kind of
meatballs.
iconic.
Just kind of that classic cartoon cover that you would see a lot in sex comedies of the 1980s. Is
Yeah,
like
they're going for that look.
Like a cartoon cover.
Yeah.
And I recognized a lot of people in this cast. And I remember it was my friend Kelly. Shout out to Kelly Thornsberry. But I remember Kelly was just like, have any of you actually watched Wet Hot American Summer? That is just sitting in comedy?
Yeah.
Because it's really fucking hilarious. And then I think that's when we all started to watch it. I think that it was I was probably my early college years in the 2000s, probably around 05.
Yeah.
That I remember us watching Wet Hot American Summer as a friend group when I would go back home. And it's been a movie that I feel like I've revisited countless times ever
I
since.
could never count.
So it was just kind of that interesting cult thing where everybody sort of discovered it.
Yeah.
And then I started to read all of the big retrospect stuff in EW around its 10-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of went into that of this movie didn't do so hot in its initial theatrical run, but it just kind of went on to build this big cult following of people just picking it up at the video store just because
I think it was,
of its cast.
I'm pretty sure it was pulled from theaters because it did so bad, and then they just rushed it to DVD.
Produced by USA Films.
Oh, yes.
And USA Films, it is now Focus Features. USA Films, when you follow sort of
because when you watch this,
line,
it looks like a porno movie.
It's October Films, USA Films, and Focus Films.
So in the credits, they're like Janeane Garofalo, David Hyde Pierce, Paul Rudd. Yeah, how about
and
Molly Shannon? Yeah,
Molly gets the end.
Molly Shannon. But how about Amy Poehler?
Well, and this would have been at the
Elizabeth
time
Banks, Bradley Cooper. That's crazy.
Amy even got SNL when she was in this movie.
No.
She was in like Deuce Bigelow,
This
Male
was
Gigolo.
Bradley Cooper's first feature film. I don't know if it was Liz Banks' first movie. Well, Spider-Man was probably 2000?
2002.
2002. So Spider-Man's later.
I remember when, we'll talk about the commentary, but I remember when they're doing the commentary, they mentioned,
she's off doing
Elizabeth
this little
Banks
movie.
is off making the Spider-Man movie right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, none of these people had done anything, but now it's like Academy Award nominees, Emmy winners, directors, producers, stars of multi-season TV shows, and they're all just kind of in there, along with Chris Meloni, Michael Ian Black, Ken Marino. A lot of these state guys have gone on to do big things. We know them. We know who they are. Maybe people aren't really super familiar with them by name, but it's like Ken Marino's in everything. Joe Lo Truglio did 7 seasons of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Michael Ian Black's done everything. And David Wain and Michael Showalter are big directors in their own right.
Yeah.
Now, the two of them.
Michael Showalter kind of a big studio director for hire now.
Yeah.
That you see him do a lot of major studio movies now.
Yes. Another thing that was just so like, this is the heyday of DVDs. This is the heyday of the deluxe edition DVD. So this DVD has a lot of shit on it. There's some really, really, really fun behind the scenes footage. There's interviews. There's deleted scenes. You know what there's not on this DVD? a damn subtitle track.
No, we
Can't even
tried to
watch
turn on the subtitles and we couldn't do it.
Gone. 2 commentaries. One reel, which is really informative and very funny because it's Janeane Garofalo on with David Wain and Michael Showalter.
One of my favorite movie commentaries.
It's one of the best movie commentaries.
It's one of the best
there.
ones.
Mostly because, I mean, David and Michael are great. They're hilarious. But Janeane is just so conversationally funny. Just so, like, what do you
off
call
the cuff.
it?
She does something really funny that we're both obsessed with, that every actor that comes on screen, she introduces them with their worst title.
Or like a really, really early title. One of the earliest
Overnight
things.
Deliveries, Paul Rudd.
Overnight Deliveries, Paul. Man, remember Overnight Delivery?
I remember
That's
Overnight
Reese
Delivery.
Witherspoon, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a movie that I would only see
pretty
on
much
cable.
it's the plot of Road Trip.
Oh, I don't know the plot of Road Trip.
The plot of Road Trip is
seen no damn
a
Road
sex
Trip.
tape gets mailed to this guy's girlfriend, and they have to drive across country to make sure that they're there before it gets delivered.
Sure.
And that's the story of
That
Overnight
old
Delivery.
chestnut.
Yeah.
And isn't that the story of the movie Sex Tape?
I don't
Starring
think
Elizabeth
so.
Banks? No.
I think that's Cameron Diaz.
Cameron
I
Diaz.
think that
it is Cameron Diaz.
they do a sex video and it ends up on the cloud and then it gets hacked.
The cloud. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the commentary for this is really, really funny. The second commentary on here, special commentary, watch the movie with extra farts.
So stupid.
So stupid, but yet genius.
We've
watched the movie with extra farts.
I mean, this movie is
Several
definitely
times.
something that you put on at a party.
Yeah. Or just hanging out, just like whatever, drinking, smoking weed, just put the movie on.
The
You watch
commentary
it, you talk
with
over
extra
it,
farts.
whatever. But yeah,
And then you
commentary-
fall asleep on the couch and then you wake up to the DVD menu.
Yeah, they did that thing where it's the caricature.
It's all
poster.
in the car. Yeah.
It's the poster, but they did this thing where they would like cut out their like arms and legs and they're like moving.
And the boobs kind of shake.
Yeah, iconic.
Elizabeth's boobs kind of like shake,
the
and there's a boing.
Yeah, there's the boing noise, and then when you go to different menus, it farts.
The leg is like going up and down in the car.
Yeah. The thing about the state is that humor.
Yeah, explain the state humor to both me and listeners that might not be familiar.
It's like absurdist humor. Mm-hmm. So the state was a sketch comedy show on MTV. Started about 93, probably lasted 3 seasons. It's on Paramount Plus. If you want to go ahead and go watch it,
I've seen bits of it on Paramount
purchased
Plus.
a season myself.
I should probably watch more
on Apple. And it's sketch comedy. It was a comedy troupe of like 22-year-old dudes, bunch of white dudes,
probably like film school dropouts.
Yeah,
that
I
just
think
decided
most
to
of them finished.
sort of make their own weird videos.
It's all dudes and Carrie Kinney, Lieutenant Weigel from Reno 911. I mean, all these guys went on to do Reno 911.
First of all.
So my name is Jackie,
first of all.
Second of all. So Reno 911 is kind of like the grad school of the state, right? It turned into that. That's mostly an improv show.
Did David Wain have any characters that he would go on Reno 911 for?
Yeah, I think so, but just like one-off things here and there. And so, yeah, it was absurdist. It was surreal.
Who's the guy that was in Friendship?
Oh, yeah.
Tim Robinson.
Tim Robinson.
It's definitely that type of humor.
I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson on Netflix. That type of humor, like I said, absurdist, surrealist, just kind of non sequitur stuff. And on the state, like I said, they were all like 21, 22 years old. A lot of these guys, very cute, right? A lot of them are very cute. Ken Marino is a very handsome man.
Ken Marino, slamming body.
Ken Marino has always had a slamming body, super handsome face, like model looks. Junior from Reno 911 with the mustache, I always thought he was super cute. And even Michael Showalter, on
there's certain
on the state
shots
when
in
he was
Wet Hot
Doug.
American Summer where I think he's kind of cute. There's other shots where he looks kind of crazy, but maybe that's just the charm of Michael Showalter.
Well, he had lost a lot of weight for that movie to look like as youthful. Okay, because another thing is, one of the big gags in this movie is that their characters are teenagers. Mm. I mean, Marguerite Moreau was probably in her early 20s in this movie.
But everybody's...
she says she's 16, but everyone else is in their 30s.
30s or maybe late 20s.
Yeah, I would say Janeane and Paul are probably in the 30s.
Molly's probably like 35.
Molly was in her 30s, but everybody else was probably, you're right, late 20s, I would say so. Because I feel like I was, in 2001, I was like 21 when this came out. 22. And so it's that kind of thing. Like, they're playing teenagers, and then they would do a lot of like weird visual gags, you know, of them running into walls and walking off decks into the lake and stuff like that. Just because these were supposed to be like things that I guess they weren't supposed to be caught on camera. Like, when you're done with your scene, you just kind of like walk away or stop moving or something. Weird little set directions, but they like left them in there. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. That were kind of jokes. But, yeah, I mean, this was just something that we just watched so fucking much.
Yeah, same.
In our early 20s. And like I said, it was that early time of DVDs when like we all had these DVD players and like, you know, those menus would just play on a loop. And it was just so easy at a party or at your apartment or whatever when you're, like I said, just sitting around drinking or smoking or whatever, to just have it on. And so all the jokes, like we know them all. And even the commentary, like we know all the jokes from. Mm-hmm. Like, but I love that shit. I just think it's good. And I get it. I get people not liking it, or I get people saying like it's, I don't know, because the story is thin.
The story is thin.
First of all, what is the plot of this movie?
I mean, it's the last day of camp, and it's everybody making the most of the end of the summer fun and wrapping up all of the summer romances. Yes. All of the romances that have been going on and the campers that have yet to have their summer romance. I mean, This movie is a love letter to 80s sex comedies primarily set in summer camps.
Right.
Did you grow up on movies like Meatballs? Because I definitely did not.
No, I didn't watch Meatballs.
That was a little past my, like, that would have been a little too dated for me.
I didn't watch Meatballs a lot as a kid. I didn't watch Animal House.
I used to watch Animal House.
I watched Caddyshack when I was like in my early 20s.
Never really cared for Caddyshack.
And I was like, this isn't funny to me. You know, it's interesting. In one of the special features, it's interviews with the cast, and Janeane is saying that how much she loves the movie and how great the script is and how funny it is and all that. And she said that she predicts this movie will go on to be this generation's Caddyshack. And I was like, it kind of is.
Sure.
It kind of is.
I'll take it over Caddyshack.
It kind of has that quality of everybody just says it's funny. And it's like, okay, you know. And maybe there's kids out there that are going to watch it and be like, I don't fucking get this movie. I don't think it's funny at all. But to us, we were like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, you know, it's like that litmus test of like, oh, you haven't seen it?
What kind of humor are you into?
What are you doing with your life? If you
and we love all of these. We love all of these actors. I think primarily with Janeane, I think there's something so endearing about her character in particular.
Beth. Love Beth.
That I love. It's one of my favorite roles of Janeane
I'm not
Garofalo.
Ruth Buzzy standing here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ruth.
Oh, Ruth.
R.I.P. Ruth Buzzy.
R.I.P. our queen. But yeah, I think that there's something about Janeane that works so well in stuff like this. Because Janeane always feels like that cool woman that you meet when you're a kid that you're like, I want to grow up to be just like her. Like, that's the character of Beth who's running this summer camp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They talk about it in the commentary about all the kids that are in the science camp, how they were just really excited on the days that they got to work with Janeane.
Yeah.
They were just
I can see why.
super stoked. Like, we get to work with Janeane today. We get to like the scene where they run into camp and they fall on the floor and they like fall on top of her. They're like, ooh, we get to do like stunt work with Janeane.
And I mean, do you think that it's because of the reasons why I said is that there's just something about Janeane just I mean, she's just so,
the epitome of like a cool person.
She's so fucking cool, and I want to be just like that when I grow up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's like your, I don't know, like older sister, older cousin's friend that you're just like, oh my God, this person is like amazing, and I love them. One of the funniest parts of the commentary has to do with the first shot of the movie. After the opening credits montage of the campfire, which is What song is over
Starship.
What song by Starship?
I can't remember the song.
Yeah,
I would look it up, but our Wi-Fi's out.
It's a name. It's a name, and it's like a J. Yeah, listeners. The Great Spectrum outage of 2025 is affecting us pretty hard, and I hate it.
I mean, I'm glad that we had the DVD because we would not be streaming this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jane
by Starship is playing over.
I mean, they probably blew all of their music budget for licensing on this song.
If they had any.
Mm-hmm.
After that ends...
Well, they had something because they got the song.
Right. Mm-hmm. After that montage ends, which is funny, it kind of introduces us to all the characters. You know, Amy Poehler is like trying to kiss Bradley, and he's like pulling away from her, and la la la. We get not a title card, but we get a little card of last day at camp. And what does it say?
August 18th, 1981, 5:57 a.m., last day of camp. Well, I mean, I love this opening shot, too, with all of the kids.
It's all the boys and the girls
going back to their bunks. Yeah. Well, because that's the thing is that I think that everybody who made this movie has memories of summer camp. And this was like a big one.
So...
running back to your cabin.
We talked about this in Salute Your Shorts on the Patreon. I never did an overnight camp. And this type of camp, they say in this movie, I mean, this is a comedy movie, it's fiction, whatever, but they say 8 weeks.
That's a long time.
2 months away from home at camp. Now, not only is that a long time, how much is this costing? You're
probably
feeding
a lot.
These kids every day. And so the thing is, the history of these sleepaway summer camps on the East Coast is that they're primarily Jewish, and they're primarily for kids that were a little well off.
Yeah. Probably because it's a good couple G's to probably send a kid here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like the whole Dirty Dancing kind of camp situation, and we see it in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's something that people in New York, the tri-state area, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, would go to these camps as a family and stay for weeks at a time. And those, again, were mostly Jewish, mostly well-off people who could just leave the city, or at least the moms and the kids, and then the dads would commute sometimes to stay for weeks at a camp that's all-inclusive.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how long when I went to a summer camp like this, and it was probably maybe just a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they make jokes in this movie about the kids, like let's say a little prayer, and they start like saying the Baruch Atah and all that stuff. But I did not experience this. David Wain has gone on to say that this is inspired by his memories of going away to camp as a kid and spending weeks away and all of that. But yeah, I never really. I feel like it. Yeah, as a little sissy kid,
I always really wanted to be a summer camp counselor because I always just thought all of the camp counselors where I went, I think it was Camp St. Thomas. I said on the Patreon that it was a Christian Bible camp, but I'm going to use the term Christian very loose because I don't remember a lot of
you were sitting around
Jesus-y things at the camp.
The Bible.
It was mainly just to go and have fun at summer camp.
It's a summer camp,
There was some religion involved, but it was pretty spare though. But I
fair
remember all of the camp counselors just thinking that they were all so fucking cool.
Oh, yeah.
And that was something that I wanted to do.
Totally.
And I'm sure that they probably thought I was very annoying just asking them questions about how do you become a camp counselor? Can I become a camp counselor one day? That I'm sure they're just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this kid, shut up. But yeah.
Go swimming or go to archery. I love that. So the interesting thing, or the funny thing that I love in the commentary is that it says, what's the date that it says?
August 18th, 1981.
So Janeane and David Wain start talking about what they were doing. August 18th, 1981.
Don't they get in a big argument about when MTV?
Argument about Janeane says I was babysitting and watching MTV, and David Wain is saying no, you couldn't have watched MTV.
Janeane has the receipts though,
and she's got the receipts. And according to the Wikipedias, MTV launched at 12:01 a.m. August 1st, 1981.
So Janeane was right then.
So she was right. She could have been home babysitting, or not home, but she could have been babysitting someone watching MTV. I believe the first video was Video Killed the Radio Star.
The Bugaloos,
the
right?
Bugaloos, yeah.
The Bugaloos, yeah.
I think. I don't know. Was the very first video. But yeah, I always thought that was really funny because they kind of get into it. Mm-hmm. Like, they're both standing there.
Janeane has the receipts, and I'm like that with certain things that I remember when I was babysitting the summer of 2000. I remember watching Mandy Moore when she had a short-lived VJ gig, the summer of 2000, that she would
summer VJ
she would
gigs
do
like
beach party stuff, and she would just like intro music videos.
I remember the beach party,
and I remember like babysitting.
Yeah.
And watching MTV.
So, were we watching a lot of Spring Break? Was it Spring Break of those?
Spring Break.
Were the YouTube videos of MTV?
Yeah, I think that was Spring Break.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I remember watching all that shit live of what we saw on MTV.
Spring Break was a wild time. I feel like I was always like, I don't relate to this.
I don't know.
Whatever this Spring
watch
Break
it,
is.
And you watch it now when you look up those videos on YouTube. I think everybody is secretly miserable that are there.
I think they're all just drunk.
It's a big party, I don't think it looks very fun.
No, because there's probably a lot of setups, probably a lot of like...
So do you think that, I mean, that's the equivalent in the 90s and early 2000s of something like Coachella?
Going to Spring Break, like in Fort Lauderdale?
These MTV Spring Break events?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to compare it with anything.
I guess so. Yeah, how do you, like, you just go to Fort Lauderdale, do you just luck into MTV being there, or is it a thing that, like,
I think that you plan to go.
Plan to go?
When they're going to be filming.
Does that just mean you get to just go? Like, anybody, come down, we're filming now, Spring Break. It's not all central casting. Who knows? I'd love to find out. But yeah, that was, like I said, that was something that was like, this is not my world. I don't understand what's going on. I don't think I would ever go to this, but it is fascinating to watch now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they would have people come in and be like VJs, and like Christina Aguilera, like Britney Spears even would just be standing there with like Carson Daly, like
when she was doing the rounds in the early 90s of doing press, that she would do stuff like Spring Break.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nice little production design things in this movie. We were commenting on the sun tea in these opening shots.
There's a big jug of sun tea next
Janeane and the nurse. I can't think of the actress who's
Beth
the nurse.
And their characters are Beth and Nancy.
Nurse Nancy.
Nurse Nancy.
But I like that there's just sun tea on the steps.
Yes.
That definitely reminds me of summer.
They're sitting on the porch.
Is that my mom always had sun tea out on the porch.
My mom always had sun tea out on the porch too.
What was it about sun tea?
I don't know. It just had a hold on moms in the 90s.
But yeah, and I love little touches like that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of these things that
big jug
David Wain puts in the movie that he just has memories of.
I hope our sun tea jugs were glass.
Ours were glass.
Yeah, they had to be glass. Because if it was plastic, oof. No wonder everything hurts. It's all the phosphates leaching into my sun tea from the 80s. The character of Nancy's kind of funny. She's one of the ones that are a little older. Oh, you know what's funny? You know what's interesting? So Carrie Kinney had I don't know if it was short-lived, but she had a band. And this band had a video. And in the 90s, after the state, they would play this video on like 120 Minutes and Alternative Nation all the time. And the band was called Cake Like. And I forget the name of the song, but it was like a riot girl. Like they were in like wedding dresses and tiaras, like playing guitar and like jumping in the pool and all that stuff. And it's Carrie Kinney and Nurse Nancy.
Okay.
She's in the band.
David says on the commentary that this actress didn't want to say the word pussy. Can you get me lube from my pussy? And that actress didn't want to say it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it didn't get her podcast canceled. Because she eventually did say it. I'm going to find out this actress's name.
But yeah, the setup of this movie is very sweet. I love the score. It's very, it's very nostalgic.
Yeah, it's a good score.
I love all of it.
Yeah.
David Hyde Pierce as Henry, who lives right next to Camp Firewood.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine being an adult and living in a house like this, and I'm sure this was a thing.
Well, they did say that house, because it's so close, that was like the admin office for the camp. Mm-hmm. That's why it's like there. It's in the shot.
And he's just spending the summer there on sabbatical or break from school.
I mean, in the universe of this movie, that's his house, and you could just see it from the camp. But really, the reason that there's a house right there is because it's the big admin office. That's where like all the head counselor. I love Janine's I love Beth, as she just constantly says like head counselor, and she uses air quotes a lot in this movie when she's nervous and when she's talking to Henry, the final frontier. She just let air quotes. I always love their like awkward conversations. Very funny. Mm-hmm. Good stuff there.
I love the little wraparound bit with the Jewish day camp radio.
Yeah.
On the Fox. I think that's what they say. This kid's vocals are ADR'd by Sam Levine from Freaks and Geeks.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely noticed that.
The little young actor is not actually saying any of these lines. You're right. That's what's his name?
I could see them probably filming more of this kid that they just cut, too. That it was probably more of a recurring character.
Sure. Well, it's interesting when you watch it now. You can see how there's kind of like little vignettes cut throughout, like the Molly Shannon storyline with her and her little camper. What is her camper's name? I'm going to find it. Not Artie. Kate Boy. Oh gosh. This movie's got a really big cast. Molly Shannon's character is the art teacher, and she spends her time getting kind of
Aaron,
yeah. His name
is Aaron.
Yeah, that's right. Huh. But all those scenes with Molly in the art room and the kids, and like Molly having a breakdown and Aaron doing all this like therapy speech, and it's this little kid is like, he's a kid actor. He's a little boy, and he's really delivering the shit out of these lines.
Yeah.
And he says, pardon the Yiddish, a schmuck. And he says, like, this may sound like I'm like demeaning my own gender. Like things like that. You're like, what the fuck?
I think that David Wain mentions when filming this movie that they shot at a real summer camp. And I think that the summer camp people that ran it kind of figured out what type of a movie that they were making as they were filming it.
Okay.
So I think that they felt like we're on some real like thin ice with this camp.
Yeah.
And he talks about working with the child actors because there's a lot of kids in this movie.
There's a lot of kids in this movie.
Like dealing with their parents.
Yeah.
And them figuring out some of the lines of the script.
Right.
Of just kind of having to deal with stuff like that. Which I could only imagine being a young filmmaker that, oh my God, like we're already making this movie that is costing money that we probably do not have.
Right.
And I have to deal with all of these kids' parents.
Yeah.
About the crazy shit that I have put in the script.
Yeah. And it's not so much that the kids are saying crazy stuff, but these things are being said around them or to them or about them. And it's just like, oh, okay, this is a little risky.
I mean, maybe they felt, maybe
funny.
it kind of softened it that you have actors like Paul Rudd that were probably just really good with working with kids, that maybe it kind of made it a little better.
Right.
That like, I mean, you're just hanging out with Paul for the day.
Paul Rudd is yeah. You see it in the behind the scenes stuff. Paul Rudd's kind of a clown. I think Janeane was probably really good with the kids. I think David Wain was probably really good with them. Molly, and you, Scott, will be glad to know, listeners, the internet is back.
Oh no way! It is.
Yeah. Turn around. Look at the light.
Oh, it's blue.
It's blue. And I just checked. I turned my Wi-Fi on my phone, and I did a check.
The cyber attack of
Spectrum has been thwarted.
Okay.
Yeah, check it. We're back in business, people. I mean, this is, we have been out of, have had no internet since 1 o'clock today, and it is now.
It was pretty much right when. Oh, look at that!
9:30 p.m.
It was pretty much right when we left the house.
Yeah, I mean, it's party time. The internet is back. This is exciting. Scott's like, "Ooh, I got IMDb again." Yeah, they were saying it was a cyber attack, and they were saying it was like vandalism.
Well, somebody vandalized all of those,
like a power source or like a.
I don't know
whatever,
what exactly they are,
server.
But it was like lines that were in the ground that they dug up. Fiber cables.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's some like Sky Captain, the world, like a giant robot, like dug up the fiber cables and like cut them all up.
Mm-hmm.
We need Superman to fucking fix that shit. But it looks like they did it. We had an estimated. I
was fully prepared.
6 a.m.
I was
tomorrow.
fully prepared to go all night without the internet.
We were going to be watching DVDs in bed later on, but it looks like we've got internet again.
I mean, when the cyber attack does happen,
oh my god,
like leave the world behind.
Yeah,
I feel like we are going to be making a living as a video rental.
I could do that
location for all of our friends that only just rely off streaming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have many TV series, entire runs of.
If we were in the Blast from the Past bomb shelter, we would have something for like 10 years.
Monday night is Smallville. Tuesday night is Batman, the 60s series. Wednesday night is Star Trek, the animated series. Thursday is Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday would have to be Friends.
Well, yeah, must-see TV.
Friday's Buffy. Saturday is 90210. Mm-hmm. Sunday is...
Well, Wednesday would have to be Buffy. I think that Buffy aired on
you have to do their nights of the... Yeah, I like it. But, people can come over and watch our curated programming, or they could borrow our films for slight fees. We have to break some kneecaps, though, to get the movies back, because I feel like people would never bring it back.
Yeah.
But these are things we'll deal with when the time comes. And it's probably coming. But anyhow, see, we're getting notifications again. Getting notifications
Put
again.
on Do Not Disturb.
Sure, good idea. I notice, and I think Michael Showalter probably says this, but in the big scene where they're walking to breakfast, and I feel like it says like 6 or 7 a.m. or something, breakfast. I'm like, oh my God. Michael Showalter does that thing where he just shoves his feet into his sneakers, and the heel is like pushed down.
How kids or teenagers walk in
the
shoes
heel is
sometimes.
pushed down, so they just slide their foot in the shoe. I hate it when I see kids like that out in public. I'm like, maybe for your house, but don't walk around like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense that this movie is set so early because in the summertime, the sun rises before 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's not like these kids can be sleeping in. So I think that you just have to have an early morning.
Yeah. And they have to have shit from the
Do you know what I have a memory of my summer camp time?
Tell me.
There was the Polar Plunge Club.
Oh, no.
Of that when the very beginning of the day at like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
They took all of these kids to the river and you just jumped in to start your day.
I'm sure that
and
river
I
was
did it
cold as hell.
I did it every single time.
Why?
I don't know.
You're like,
because I wanted the special Polar Plunge certificate that you got at the end of camp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Say you did it.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
also, my knowledge of my experience with summer camp is limited. I think that I only did that program for like 2 years.
Yeah.
But I remember stuff like the talent show and doing skits and the big thing that you do at the very end of camp. In this movie, it's the talent show that they're doing. So, it makes me nostalgic for that time.
Yeah.
And it makes me miss being a kid. And how much fun would it have been to have been any of these horny teenagers that were sort of in charge of all of this? I love that when Janeane is like going over everything that needs to be done today.
Yeah.
Bunk 7 wants to watch the China Syndrome again.
Can
you run the Betamax? Mm-hmm.
She says again. Oh my God, I love that.
Taking these kids like rafting too.
Yeah.
So Ken Marino can't stay at the camp and hook up with Major Dad.
Don't go. I love when she tells him, don't go. She does dance with the kids. She's doing dance stuff with them. Because I was like, what is her deal at the camp? Major Dad. Major Dad, have we talked about this on the
Abby.
pod?
Marissa Ryan.
Marissa Ryan, that's it. Have we talked about this on the pod that like neither of us are Major Dad watchers?
No, I only know Major Dad as Janine's reference of when introducing Marissa Ryan on the commentary. Major Dad's Marissa Ryan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was a family show. There were kids. Marissa Ryan was on it. But
did it not make it to 100 episodes, so it just didn't get syndication?
Oh, that I don't know. But
that's probably why.
I didn't watch it because I thought, to me, it seemed like a grown-up show. Like Coach, Newhart, those shows that I was like, this is not for me. But Major Dad, I think it kind of was for kids. But I watched Coach more than I watched Major Dad. I kind of liked Coach.
Ran just under 100 episodes. Looks like it's on Tubi. So it's not completely gone the time.
Okay, all right. You better work, Major Dad. She's also Marissa Ryan in Riding in Cars with Boys. Didn't we see that? Wasn't that on? And we were both like, oh, that's that chick from Un-American Summer.
I was trying to find a few months ago my DVD of Riding in Cars with Boys. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that I have it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, before we get further into this movie, I do want to talk about its legacy.
Yeah, of course.
Unless you want to save that for the end.
No, we can get into it.
Kind of wanted to talk about it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because, we both love it so much. We have this, history with it. Strong connection. Own it. Can watch it anytime, any day of the week. But much like Arrested Development, they developed sequel series and prequel series, and we just weren't that into them.
We just weren't really that into them. I don't know why.
And everybody came back that could. Everybody that was available came back. Same writing teams, same actors.
They did two of them.
Additions. Yeah, they did two. They did the first day of camp and a prequel. Because this is last day of camp. And I get it. I get the joke of they were old in 2001 and now it's first day of camp 8 weeks earlier and they're 15 years older.
I think that it was one of those things that I think that I watched maybe 3 or 4
we tried.
episodes of all of them.
Yeah.
I remember when watching 10 years later thinking it was the better one.
Sure, the second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it was first day of camp and then 10 years later. That was the thing. That was the prequel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was about it, but yeah. Maybe they didn't need to be 8-episode series.
No, I don't think so. I
Maybe
think that you
could have been a movie.
You could have just done that as a movie.
Yeah. Maybe each one could have been a movie. And they
I remember
funny.
reading that 10-year anniversary article in EW with interviews with everybody, and they talked about trying to develop a sequel.
Right.
And I just assumed that this sequel is never going to happen.
Wasn't it a situation that everybody was just so famous that they couldn't have everyone in the same room at the same time? So it was a lot of cutting and pasting.
Bradley Cooper stuff is really weird.
Yeah, so this is not even a COVID situation because this is 2015. So it's pre-COVID, pre-COVID.
Bradley Cooper was on break from American Sniper or something, and he could just go to set for 4 hours, and then they had to put a mask on his character through most of the movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
He's
right.
masked.
He's got a fucking mask, and it's just some rando. Yeah, I completely forgot about that part. Yeah, and I think they did something similar with Arrested Development, where characters were just not available to work together, so they just did their sides and just Frankenstein, Phantom Menace some scenes. And I don't know. I guess I don't think that's a plus when you're trying to put something together. And so maybe that was part of it, but we just, I don't know. And a lot of really good people that came in that weren't part of the original.
Isn't Chris Pine there somewhere? Well, because they go into the rival camp.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I didn't give a shit about. The rival camp Tiger Claw from across the thing. Sam Levine is back as Artie. But we get people like Jason Schwartzman is there. Josh Charles is a big one. John Slattery, Michaela Watkins. Funny people. Good people. But there's just something about it that we were just like, I think we skip it. And then the other thing is that, like, not everybody's Paul Rudd. They don't all look like No Time Has Passed.
Well, and that was a big joke with Michael Showalter.
That he looks crazy.
Is that he just looks crazy.
He looks absolutely psycho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, psycho with a hard K. Showalter looks wild. Okay, now let me tell you this. And you forgot about this. I remember seeing signs in the theater and being like, oh my God, Michael Showalter's in this.
I always forget that he's in signs until I'm watching.
He's got a cameo. He plays like the town bully, town low-life shithead.
He's talking about the backstory of Joaquin Phoenix playing baseball.
Right.
And swinging too hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's supposed to play this burnout character, right? Scruffy, stubble, leather jacket, kind of burnout, maybe a drunk, probably. So he looks bad. And in the theater, in what year is this?
Summer of 2002.
Summer of 2002. So
a year after Wet Hot American Summer comes out.
A mere year after Wet Hot American Summer comes out. I'm watching it going, wow, he looks crazy. You watch it now, he looks exactly the same. Like, you just pluck him right out of Wet Hot American Summer and put him right in there. But to me, at that time, I was like, wow. And so you see him now, and I mean, come on, man. 25 years is a long time. I mean, at the time the sequels came out, it had only been 15 years, but still 15 years is a long time for adults. Time passes, you look different, but it's just like, all right. I don't know that Janeane, maybe she didn't do them at all, because I'm looking through these and I don't see her.
Oh, wait a minute. She has to be in them.
Yeah, maybe she isn't. I'm just not finding
Look on the
her.
poster.
She's probably not. Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Oh,
Beth.
yeah. She's there.
There's Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Michael Ian Black looks the same. Marguerite Moreau looks better. But again, she was probably.
Do you think
19 or 20.
Marguerite Monroe? I was thinking this. Do you think Marguerite Monroe and Linda Cardellini would go up for the same jobs?
Probably. They probably saw each other a lot and were just like, this bitch.
I'd be willing to bet that they even brought in Marguerite Monroe for something like Freaks and Geeks.
Oh, sure.
But maybe Marguerite was a little too old.
Maybe she was a little too pretty. No shade on Linda Cardellini. Beautiful. But Marguerite Moreau, I think, has that.
You kind of buy her more as one of the popular girls?
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she just has that face that's a little. She's not an underdog. And what's Linda's character's name?
Lindsay Weir?
Lindsay. I feel like Lindsay, yeah. I don't know if Lindsay could be that pretty. Because I think Marguerite's like pretty. It's so funny, the poster for First Day at Camp. It's just Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is in the direct
Front center on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, okay, we see what's going on here. But
Ken and his crazy wig.
I have that in my notes. I never understood. Okay, I get the sweat hog reference.
Well, Ken mentions that a big kind of inspiration for this look was Sleepaway Camp in the baseball game.
Well, yeah, he's wearing the short shorts.
The short shorts, the slutty
did
tops.
Anybody have a crazy?
I don't know where the hair comes from, but Ken just thought it was funny.
I think the hair comes from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Okay, I can see that.
I think it's Welcome Back, Kotter. I think it's very, hey, Mr. Kotter. One of the sweat hogs. I checked. It's not Horseshack. I think it's the Puerto Rican Jewish guy.
There is a scene in the deleted scenes where you see Ken photographed from the waist down in his whitey tighties, and a giant
huge boner,
when he's walking through the camp.
Yeah.
But you also get Ken's abs and his legs, and I'm like, oh my god!
You know what? Mm-hmm. In this movie, Paul Rudd is wearing those 501s the whole time, and he has thick thighs and a fat ass. Have you ever noticed that?
No, I don't think I have.
Paul Rudd's got
I love
thighs.
Andy's clothes.
Oh, Andy is so hot.
The Canadian tux and the eagle shirt.
Get the fuck and that hair, that Paul Rudd hair. Like at
Yeah,
that,
there's
that
a
is the
lot of cute guys in this movie.
That is the perfect length of hair for Paul Rudd. Like he can rock that look today. You know, it looks retro, it looks modern, it's like clean. I think that look on him is perfect. But there's scenes, especially when he's like picking up, when he throws his breakfast on the floor.
I remember when I first watched this movie.
Oh my God.
Losing my mind
that scene.
at that, thinking that it was the funniest thing ever.
It is.
It's still great.
It is. It's so good.
A teenager with a bad attitude.
Just the fact that he throws the plate on the ground when he's done.
And just how Paul picks it up of just dragging his feet. So we always notice in that scene.
Clean it up and go to my office for the meeting.
We always notice in that scene Janeane just standing on her mark, and you can just see it. Taped.
Masking tape on the floor.
And we mentioned that there's scenes of this movie that are very, like, beautifully shot.
Very well lit.
Very well lit.
Yeah.
And you can tell those were one of the early shots that they got. And once they got here, they're like, we're burning daylight. Like, we have to get through the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, get the camera and shoot it.
Yeah. Well, the thing that they talk about in the making of and all of that is that they shot this movie in a month, and it rained 23 days.
Probably the spring, and you can really see it with the weather.
It rained 23
when
days.
they're out on the lake, that everybody looks really cold.
There's there's a handful of shots where the sky's blue, and you could see sun.
They talk about that grass and how muddy it would get,
That
and they would
courtyard,
have to lay down planks to walk across it.
Yeah, because they would just sink into the mud. The sky is pretty much white in most of this movie. There's a couple of scenes where the kid, first of all, I guess he filmed him. I was going to say, why does the kid get kicked out of camp for getting caught jerking off? But he broke into the office and filmed himself jerking off.
We got to get a hold of that tape.
Why do they want to get a hold of the tape? So that's why he's getting kicked out. That scene, blue sky, sun coming through. And I think the day of, when everybody's getting picked up and the buses are there, I think the sky's blue there. And maybe in Capture the Flag. But the rest of the time, the sky is white or overcast, you know. And in a couple of shots, especially when what's her name is making out with Moose. And
this is the actor that was jerking off.
Okay. Oh, Jake Fogelnest. He's on I Love VH1.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. So, yeah, see, that's the thing about the state. It's like they just had all these comics, all these stand-ups, all these performers come in and participate in this. But, yeah, in the scene where Ken Marino finally gets back and he wants to make out with her and he's all, like, gross and covered in mud and blood and dirt and stuff, and she's making out with Moose, it's fully raining.
Yeah.
Like, you could see water just dripping off the porch, like, behind him.
You snooze, you lose.
That shit is so funny. That character is wild. Just the fact that you just go up to her and give her a piece of gum and she'll just make out with you.
Marissa Ryan, so funny as Abby.
Yeah, Abby. We love it. Let's see. I'm going to pull my notes up again. Now that the internet's back, I'm like going wild on my iPad. I'm like, woo. Let's see. Ken Marino's wig is Victor. Okay, so we haven't talked about Chris Meloni as Gene. You don't like Gene?
I don't like Gene as much as most people do.
Right. And
I think this is very straight guy humor.
It is.
Which there's something for that in this movie. There's something for the straights, there's something for the gays in this movie.
But I was going to say, you know why I like Gene is because it's Chris Meloni in tight jeans and a sleeveless t-shirt. Mm-hmm. And
that giant Jesus tattoo.
That giant Jesus tattoo that is real, and that giant big fat Christopher Meloni ass.
Yeah.
Like, great. Give me more of that.
So
he's just so handsome.
I just finished The Sopranos.
Sure.
And I was talking to people at work.
They said to watch Oz.
I was like, should I watch Oz? Like, do you think it's at all worth watching? Because it has a big gay following.
It sure does.
And we were all just like, I don't know how well that show is aged.
Right.
Like, is it probably just kind of a slog?
Yeah.
If you were to watch it from episode 1 now.
I mean, the thing is, I think most of the good gay stuff is on like Tumblr. It's like Christopher Meloni pissing in a bucket.
I mean, I've definitely seen
You've seen
the
his
shower
butthole.
scene.
Sees the shower scene. But the thing is, his boyfriend in the show is played by Lee Turgison, who is one of... He's in Wayne's World. He's one of their, like, crew that, like, shoot Wayne's World, and all those guys are hot. You know?
Oh, all those guys are super cute.
Yeah, he's one of them. And I think Lee Turgison is a really handsome actor. You know who he is. You know where I know him from before Oz. He's in the Weird Science TV show. He plays Chet.
Okay.
He plays the Bill Paxton character on the Weird Science sitcom.
On the USA
on the
Network?
USA Network.
That
starring,
came out in like 94 or something?
like 10 years after
Yeah.
the movie came out. Yes, yes. Why did they make this show? Yeah, that one. Vanessa Angel as Lisa. Yeah, Chef's Kiss. Great show.
I wonder if that's on Tubi.
You know, it's not streaming anywhere. It might be on Tubi, but it's not on most of the things that I
We were
checked.
just talking about this
I do
on our
love it.
Salute Your Shorts episode of where are the masters of all of these forgotten TV shows?
Oh my God, seriously.
That where are they?
Like they're okay. So
Floating above the Hudson in a storage unit.
You were in TV and film production in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Master tapes of a. Is it like a VHS, like a big tape?
It's like a
big
tape
tape somewhere, right? Like a physical.
When
thing.
I would have to go to the storage unit for the trailer vendor, to go find all of the old TV spots because we were trying to digitize them, just to get them off like physical media, maybe to preserve them a little more.
Yeah,
I would have to go to storage units and dig out tapes.
Oh my God, see, and that's the thing. I don't think like before Viacom and Paramount, Nickelodeon was just Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
So like somewhere, it's I would bet money somebody left Nick, had a bunch of shit probably at home that shouldn't have been, and then they just never took it back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why.
Well, now studio execs don't give a shit about any of that. So it's just sort of
exactly they don't care.
The tapes are just deteriorating
because
somewhere.
they're not getting any revenue from streaming. So they're not like, well, we can make money if it's on Paramount Plus. No, they don't give a fuck. Like it's not like they're generating memberships of Paramount, which they would, or at least get some kind of little trickle of something if they put it out on DVD or something, right? But I think the bottom line to them is just like, it's not going to be a revenue stream, so it doesn't matter. Which is terrible.
It's a shame.
It's a damn shame. But Christopher Meloni's ass in this movie is not a shame, and we love it. So Gene is constantly with.
Yeah, who is this actor?
So this actor that is constantly with Gene, 80 Miles as Gary.
Where did I know 80 Miles from?
So the thing is, he's more of a writer. And he is the head writer of...
Looks like
Fallon?
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. He's been the head writer of Fallon, and he was kind of a sidekick for a while on Fallon. So he would be on camera, do a lot of sketches and stuff. So, that's been mostly what he's been doing for a long time. But he does a lot of work behind the scenes writing. But I think he's in Role Models, which is funny. We like that movie.
David Wain.
There you go.
And Paul Rudd.
There you go.
Yep.
Let's see. We talked a little bit about Molly.
Do we want to talk about the outcast kids that are learning about science? I love all of them.
Yes. The Science Club.
Cape Boy.
Kids.
The Dungeon Master.
Cape Boy, the D&D kid. Yeah. Okay, so the thing about Cape Boy's cape, there's a little piece of rope that's kind of like cut into it, and he just kind of ties it around his shoulder with rope. But it also looks like it was sewn to have like shoulder, what do they call them, like a gusset?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it looks like it's sewn so that it hangs over his shoulders like a cape. So it's like, I'm wondering if that was on purpose to show like maybe his mom made this, or was that just something that they did so it hung on him better and you can just kind of see the seams. But I just thought that was cool that it's like, okay, They actually made this cape for this kid, so it would hang on him.
I love the
properly.
Cure Girl.
Cure Girl is amazing, so funny.
There's kind of a pretty nerd too.
I think she's called Mallrat Girl.
Okay, she kind of has the fair hair.
Yeah, she has fair hair, and she's got like this like cute red sweater. And then there is, so let's see. She's Mallrat Girl. Then there's Mork guy. He's wearing the rainbow suspenders, and he says "Nanu Nanu" at the end.
Would you have been with these kids learning about science with David Hyde Pierce?
If it got me, I'd have captured the flag. Yeah. Yeah. I would have liked swimming. I would have liked going to the lake.
I would have liked swimming.
I would have swum in the lake.
I probably would have been giving Molly Shannon couples counseling.
Sure.
And arts and crafts.
I would have liked arts and crafts. I would have tried archery. Maybe like a knot tying workshop.
Sure.
That would have been fun. But things like capture the flag, softball.
I remember playing capture the flag at camp.
Yeah. I think I would have been like, oh, science camp. I'll go do that. Like, let's try and like filter this pond water and see if we can shrink it and not get dysentery. That kind of shit. I did all that stuff at the kids museum, and it was really fun. I taught all them kids how to do all that shit. We were identifying acorns and all that. But yeah, I probably would have been with them. I don't know that I would have worn a cape or Mork rainbow suspenders, but you know.
You would have been wearing like a Smith's
would I have been the
T-shirt or something?
I would have been Cure Girl.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you know who I think is doing fine work in this movie?
Tell me.
Is Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler is so fucking funny in this.
And this is where like
she's
her sketch comedy
funny.
background
Yes.
that you can kind of tell. I mean, probably with all of them is that I think that all of these actors had a big part of crafting all of these characters.
Yes.
And I love Amy as the musical theater director that maybe takes it a little too seriously.
Director / choreographer. Mm-hmm. And Bradley Cooper is the producer.
Yeah.
She has her clipboard everywhere.
Hey, you guys. Everybody focus up, okay? All eyes here. I would like to announce that Ben and I are planning to produce a musical number from Godspell for the talent show tonight. I'm sorry, Ben is producing. I'm directing / choreographing.
I'm only speaking from personal experience, but if you can't carry a tune, don't come into the audition environment and waste our time. We're serious, okay?
Okay, and bring a lot of movement clothes, aka jazz shoes, dance belts, lycras, et al. And seriously, FYI, you guys, this is not an excuse to get out of your regular activities. This is an excuse to do some good musical theater. So be prepared, be enthusiastic, and leave your bullshit attitude and baggage at the door, because we don't need it. Hey, you guys!
They give the Godspell kid such a hard time, and it's so funny.
Who's like, I mean, the joke is that this singer, she's a really good singer, right? You know,
and they get booed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I read though online that like is the joke that it's Godspell and the character's Jesus, and it ends with like a cross.
Oh, sure,
and it's like a Jewish.
It's a Jewish camp. I didn't think of that.
I think
it works either way.
I think it works either way
because all of these kids.
Well, because the thing is, what I didn't get is that they're like clapping and singing along, but then they boo. So it's like, is that just funny?
I mean, the Godspell songs are really good, though.
I know. Mm-hmm. I know. And the Godspell's the one where she's wearing the Superman t-shirt. That's that one. That's different than what we watched this Easter.
We watched Jesus Christ Superstar for the first time.
Yes. Which is also very jazzy and very 70s and very hip. But, you know. Kevin Sussman as Steve, the loner kid who talks in a robot voice.
Yeah. Another character in this movie that looks very old.
Yes.
To be.
Is he a camper?
Is he a camper? Is he roughly Beth's age, too? I don't know.
Seriously. Mm-hmm. Listeners may remember Kevin Sussman. He has a long run on The Big Bang Theory. Says he's an Almost Famous. That's in his most known for.
Oh, if he was on The Big Bang Theory, then he is probably set for life then.
He was a semi-regular. He owned the comic book shop.
Yeah.
The comic book shop, which is based on the comic book shop where I've got a book on order and I'm waiting to get an email to see when they get the damn book delivered so I can pick it up. Mm-hmm. But because, as we know, it's at Pasadena. Who else did we not mention? We mentioned Bradley. Bradley's doing he's funny.
Yeah.
All right. When you were a young kid and you watch this movie, And you saw Ben and McKinley going at it in the ball.
Well, I mean, I love how
the ball
scene.
hut.
I love how the scene is set up.
Yeah.
With they're spying on the girls, and you always saw a scene like this in all 80s movies.
Yes.
Is like spying on the girls when they're about to go in the lake.
In their bikinis.
I love Elizabeth Banks, and all of them are just hitting a ball back and forth.
It's just a beach ball that they're just tossing to each other.
Yeah.
In a very small circle.
It's just like that. It's just like Clute.
It's just like Clute.
Mm-hmm. That's always my one big reference for Clute.
Yeah, yeah.
And who would know that the one that is getting the most action at summer camp is McKinley? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's
getting some sweet gay action.
He has been fucking Brad in the shed.
Ben McKinley's gay with Ben. No, they say McKinley's a fag. Don't they say he's a fag? Or they say he's gay?
I don't remember.
McKinley's gay with Ben. I don't remember.
I mean, this scene really goes for it. I love it. Mm-hmm.
No, it's a good scene. It made all my straight friends uncomfortable. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because they're being so sensual with each other, too.
Yeah, but they keep their socks on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the little hut with
just making love
with all the sports equipment.
I mean,
the sports shed.
Bradley would be the bottom.
This character Ben.
Yeah,
because he's the theater one. Michael Ian Black is wearing like the shortest dolphin shorts this entire movie.
Can you even wear underwear with shorts like that?
You have to wear tighty whities.
Or do you think
you have to wear briefs?
Or do you think that there's like a
lining?
A lining that you just don't wear underwear?
There could be a lining, like if they're jogging shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes those jogging shorts are slit really high up the side, and they have a lining because you're running around. But yeah,
I love this scene. Still do.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that scene. I was like, oh, I don't think we've ever really talked about that because that probably one of the first times when you're a young kid seeing something like that in a movie.
A male love scene?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, not anything like this.
That's what I'm saying. They went at it for the joke.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. In 2001, when they made this movie, that scene's in there kind of as a joke.
It's there as a joke, but I think it's also refreshing because I wouldn't call this movie homophobic at all.
Because later on in the movie, when they find out... who is it? JJ and 80 Miles. JJ and Gary, when they find out that Ben's gay with... that McKinley's gay with Ben, you think they're going to, like, fuck him up or out him or, like, do something, but they get him the Chase Lounge from Crate and Barrel.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know if you had one.
That comically large package.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it turns out like they're all they remain friends and they're down with it. But they just wanted to get McKinley laid. That was their whole plan.
I mean, they exchange vows too.
Yeah.
I love Amy
and their matching dashikis.
I love Amy with the flute.
Mm-hmm. Her little poses when she's playing the flute. I think do they get Janeane to break? Is she laughing?
I think a little bit.
I think it's a little bit of a break, and then she kind of catches it,
mm-hmm.
and then Bradley hugs her because they're still going, and she's like, "Oh shit!" I love it. I love it when if Janeane ever breaks. Doesn't happen that often.
The union of McKinley and Ben. I want to be married by Janeane. I want her to officiate
in a lake in matching dashikis.
Maybe when we hit her 10-year, we'll try to get Janeane.
Well, email her. She doesn't have socials
to marry us.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said just reach out to Kathy and see if she'll do it, but I don't know. I think those days are kind of dwindling. Maybe Janeane will reach out.
I mean, she was on we talked about her on the very first episode of the podcast.
Gosh,
she's one of the first ladies of movies that made us gay.
That's literal first ladies. Mm-hmm. That's true. But again, she doesn't have socials. How do you reach out to Janeane Garofalo in 2025? There's got to be a way. Write her a fan letter to her agency.
I don't know. Do you think that Janeane even has
representation
anymore?
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't even know if she really even works all that much anymore.
Yeah, I'd have to see if she still does. Maybe she tours. Maybe she does stand-up stuff. I don't even know. I've only seen her do stand-up once.
Oh, I would love to see Janeane do stand-up at Largo or something.
I saw her at the Wiltern.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I saw her at the Wiltern.
It's a big venue.
And Zach Galifianakis opened for her. And he was still a nobody doing piano bits on
Hangover.
Way pre-Hangover, yeah. Yeah, it was probably around this time. I think it was probably, like 2001, 2002 maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hertzog.
Do you know what one of my
Great
favorite
show.
sequences of the movie? That it's so ridiculous. And you mentioned just that state absurdist humor.
Yeah.
It's the trip to town.
Oh, I
so
love going
good.
to town. It's always fun, even for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It really is good. And it's interesting to see, because Janeane talks about this in the commentary, of most of them all are coming at this as comics, working in sketch comedy, working in stand-up, doing that kind of stuff. And Marguerite Moreau is a young girl. She's an actress. And she's coming at this as, this is what we rehearsed.
Sure.
And maybe let's not try to ad-lib as much as we're doing right now, so we can get through this.
She was the Patrick Swayze in Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah.
Getting frustrated with John.
Yeah. And so Janeane said that Marguerite would just ask, can we just do it the way it's written once, and then we'll go off and do whatever you want? Because Janeane is trying to ad-lib, trying to be funny, trying to do whatever. And I'm sure all the rest of them, when you get funny people together, they're probably all trying to out-funny each other. And, and Marguerite's there in these scenes, in this montage in town. And, she's doing a good job.
Beating up old ladies and buying Coke and
sitting in the crack den. They're train
I
spotting.
love both Amy and Janeane when they're in the hotel room.
Yeah.
I love what they're both doing.
They're both doing some good
so
shit.
So funny.
Yeah, so stupid.
Janeane's fighting those demons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Amy's there with this gross old dude. Yeah, love it. We haven't talked about Zach Orth, who plays JJ. He, with Paul Rudd, is in Romeo plus Juliet. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet.
Oh, he's
the bald-headed one.
He's the bald-headed one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's kind of random.
Yeah.
He's the bald-headed one in that. Zach Orth is, and he came back for the sequels and everything, but he is JJ. And his thing in this movie is that his brother is the robot voice guy. They're brothers.
Oh, in the movie?
Yes.
I don't think I ever knew that.
I think it's in the deleted scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the thing that, he boos him and he tells him to get the fuck off the stage. And
so he can go a little harder on him.
Yeah.
It's his brother.
I think that was the intention, but
I love Janeane's relationship with the robot.
It is,
voice kid.
Yeah.
Of that, even when all the shit is happening at the end.
Yeah.
When they're running around freaking out, she has to at least go and see his talent.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Yeah, and the scene with Amy Poehler where she makes her put him in the show.
Beth, I may regret saying this, but how dare you usurp my authority as producer, director / choreographer of this talent show? I mean, you were wrong to do that. I need you to know I have been busting my balls, woman. I am telling you, the musical numbers are a mess. My kids are a bunch of amateurs, and the last thing I need today is some diabetic freak prancing around on stage making my life a living hell! All right, I'll put him last. Good. Oh, she always wins! Stop picking it up!
And Amy's getting all mad at her.
I'll put him last.
Yeah, because she gets all mad at her and she has a whole thing about these amateurs. And Janeane just looking at her. Doesn't say anything. She's just giving her this look, and she's like, all right, I'll put him last.
Don't pick it up.
She always wins. That Amy Poehler tantrum voice is so fucking funny. And it's this is old too, because it's Amy Poehler's old teeth, her old crooked teeth. Love it.
Yeah, probably when this movie came out, she probably got SNL.
Yeah.
I think that
so.
she was an early 2000s cast member. Probably right after Molly and Will left.
Yes. Yeah. And Sherry O'Terry and all those people. Yeah. Coming in with Tina Fey and Maya and all of them. But, man, Amy Poehler's so great. So fucking funny in this. Let's see. I do kind of think of that. It's funny that all of Molly Shannon stuff is like she's in her own movie.
Yeah.
This is so separate. But I think I was trying to say it earlier. It kind of reads when you watch it now like you could see that this was all just filmed in a day.
Well, they only had Molly for 2 major scenes of this movie.
Yeah.
The arts and crafts scene that they kind of edit all throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And that it's a very long day at arts and crafts. These kids are with her all day.
Yeah.
And then she's at the talent show at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Janeane ad-libbing a lot, but the scene with her and Marguerite where they're talking about Moose in her hair.
Moose.
And Janine's making the little hand gestures and all that shit. We used to think that shit was so... We would rewind Janeane putting her little fingers up behind her head. Moose. Like, that shit is so funny. You're hot, right? You're considered hot.
How do you feel about her makeover of the moosed hair?
So stupid. It's so stupid. I remember her showing that clip on Conan, and everybody's just dying because she came in and her hair is like flipped over. You were gagging at David Hyde Pierce's like fierce cleft in his chin.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever noticed the cleft in David Hyde Pierce's chin.
Yeah.
David Hyde Pierce, very cute.
I think that's what got him Frasier. Like his resemblance to Kelsey. Do you think they look alike?
I think they look. I mean, I buy them as brothers.
They look enough like brothers, but I think they have that crazy jaw, like that crazy jawline that's back under.
I mean, they
their
both
ear.
just have those voices too.
They've got the deep voices, and they've got the crazy jaw that starts behind their ear, and then I think they both. But I think David has more pronounced that fierce cleft in his chin, and there's shots from under.
Yeah.
When they're looking,
and that's probably why
Skylab.
David Wain wanted to film it that way.
Yeah,
just to really highlight the cleft in that chin.
Yeah. My mom always loved. That's what she loves about John Travolta. She'd be like, "He's got that cleft in his chin." I'm like, "All right, okay." My brother has one. Not as crazy as David Hyde Pierce.
And clefts in chin, it's almost like a birth defect, right?
It's just a genetic thing. It's just a genetic thing. It's just like.
I definitely do not have one.
No, neither of us have one.
I kind of have a weak chin.
John Travolta's is like a dimple, whereas David Hyde Pierce is like...
It's like a butt.
It's like a crease. It's like a butt. It's a Peter Griffin. Yeah, it's in like... there's like ranges of them. Interesting. Very interesting feature. Yeah, I love that. But you were noticing it. And I was noticing it too when you said it. I was like, damn, you're right. It is like... That's in there. Michael Jackson, they lie.
Yeah.
They never
give me credit for anything. I want to see that in the Michael movie.
He got a cleft surgically put into his chin. He did not have one in Thriller.
Now we were having the discussion
after
last week of
this movie.
Did all of Michael Jackson's surgeries inspire both LaToya and Janet to look similar?
Right.
When they had work done? I don't know.
Maybe not to look like him, but maybe saying, okay, he got one. He really likes these doctors.
I like the work that he
maybe we like those early things that he got. Janet probably went in. She maybe has had like 2 or 3, whereas Michael had 6 or 7. LaToya's probably had many, but never quite to the extent of Michael's. But because I think LaToya's look is more severe than Janet's these days. Even though Janet looks a little crazy. But, levels of craziness. I still stand by Janet. Do I? Do I believe she had a baby at like 52? I don't know. I mean, why? Why not just say I had a surrogate?
Spend enough money. I don't know.
Why not just say like Paris Hilton did?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, just say I had a surrogate. Like, I'm Janet fucking Jackson. I don't need to be carrying a baby at 52. Is it like giving you clout? I don't know. So weird. People have their reasons. Anyway, neither of them have clefts in their chins. Janeane and David at the library looking up
the books on camp counseling and books on astrophysicists.
Yeah. They said Janeane, the shot is a tracking shot going sideways, probably on a dolly, right? Past them both. And David is looking one way on one side of the bookshelf, and Janeane's on the other side looking. So they're kind of facing each other, but they can't see each other through the bookshelf. Janeane Garofalo is like 5'1".
Yeah, I was going to say she's small, and I think David Hyde Pierce is probably maybe 6 foot.
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, around there. So she's definitely on an apple box or two.
Okay, so
to achieve that shot.
One of the things about this type of humor, and it's kind of like that movie Friendship, of it takes a turn in the last half of this movie where I can't even describe what's going on.
Right.
Of when you get sort of the last 20 minutes of this movie where there is some satellite crashing to Earth that's going to hit the camp.
I think the idea of it's set in 1980, 81? 82.
81.
It's set in 1981, so somebody at some point was like, all right, Skylab's got to be in there somewhere. So, okay, Skylab, great. That was like the prototype International Space Station. They launched Skylab with the intent that it was going to be this docking point.
And people were going to go up there and live as this in-between place with space and Earth.
Right. Or at least to go and study and just kind of like, we can send the space, because the space shuttle program was still new. And so they're like, okay, we can get the shuttle but there and back and there and back and then go up there. But I think it did, quote unquote, fall out of the sky. But I think it just broke up in the atmosphere.
Sure.
So they were like, okay, so it's going to fall, but it's going to land on the camp.
It's going to land
in one piece
in the hall where they're doing the talent show.
Yeah.
I love Janeane and Joe.
Oh my God.
Freaking out and destroying everything in the office.
In the nurse's office.
It's
trying to
so
get the phone.
stupid.
Where's the fucking phone? No, that scene is ridiculous. We love it. Yeah. I think me and Lori would scream, the phone, where's the fucking phone? Like, nonstop. Like, that shit is great.
It's a very quotable movie.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's so quotable. Like, we just sit there and like watch it and just like, all right, yeah, here we go. But yeah, the whole thing with Victor has to take the kids on an overnight
rafting trip.
Yeah. But he wants...
And it's like 3 hours away.
Yeah. And the river, they have to drive 3 hours away to raft.
Do you like Victor and Neil's chase scene?
So stupid.
Yeah. So stupid. I love that when he gets away, Joe just kind of like shakes his head. He got away.
That one, yeah.
That one, he got away.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, it's scenes like this that I mentioned that are just kind of hard to describe, that it just takes a type of out-of-the-box brain to even think of staging stuff like this. Of that when he's...
The shot of the stunt guy riding up on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's fully in camera.
And when there's a hay bale in the middle of the road.
And
and Kem just stops at it.
Yeah.
And sort of jumps over it. It's so stupid.
Yeah, so stupid. So ridiculous. But that's very like that state kind of humor. But yeah. That shit with the stunt guy made me laugh so hard when I first saw it. And tonight I laughed. I was like, oh my God, this shit is so stupid. With the wig and everything. But the thing is, we saw in the deleted scenes, that bike is so big.
Yeah, Joe can barely... You see Joe trying to push that bike. Yeah. And there's shots where he can't quite get it.
He couldn't even like get on it. Like he couldn't put his leg over it because it was so heavy. It was like tipping over on him. I love that. I love that.
We miss... Carrie and David
Wain,
gets out of the tent and they have this little moment.
Yeah.
I think that scene should have been kept in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like this. It's not like the pacing
doesn't really add anything, I guess.
I guess
it's
so,
it's just a funny scene with those two.
And if maybe it's a thing where it's like we have to keep this movie under, whatever.
An hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
When I was at work the other day, I was just randomly thinking of the talent show and Alan Shepard. in that type of humor where they're losing their goddamn minds at.
This Borscht Belt humor.
Yeah.
When I came to Camp Firewood, it was the Stone Age.
These hacky jokes.
No, it wasn't the Stone Age. It was the Ice Age.
Do you remember when we were at the Eagle with a friend of the pod, Michael Morgan?
Yeah.
And in walked that older female comic.
Well, okay.
She was like a lesbian comic.
Listeners, we have to preface this. The Eagle in LA in Silver Lake, not a comedy club.
No, not at all.
Not a comedy club. A gay bar. A niche gay bar. I would say borderline leather bar.
It was like a Wednesday night,
and it was a random night. We all three of us lived in the neighborhood, so we said let's just go. And they were doing stand-up comedy on the stage where we have seen hot wax poured on people taking showers in kiddie pools, people being flogged.
Yeah.
But no, it was stand-up comedy night.
But I remember we were obsessed with that woman.
And this lady, this older...
It's very just sort of lesbian. This older New York humor.
It was a very New York...
Like, I'm a boomer lesbian, and I don't care for your sensitive generation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I love a butch lesbian. I love just a butch lesbian who's just like, fuck it. Come on. And yeah, I don't know that she was getting the greatest reaction.
We were laughing.
She wasn't dying. She wasn't bombing. But
there was some sort of a disconnect with the audience and her.
But we were laughing. And all three of us were just kind of like, this woman is amazing. She's our new god. Yeah.
But yeah.
But she was kind of, what was his character's name?
Alan Shepard. Day by day.
Alan Shemper. Day by day. We would say day by day a lot. Yeah, this is it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and meaning it. What does that even mean?
And Zach Orth and all the rest of them are just laughing their heads off.
Zach Orth, 80 Miles, and Michael Ian Black are dying. The three of them are losing their minds. This last scene is so crazy. Coop, like, we don't even have to go into the whole Super Coop montage, the Rocky stuff with him and Gene. But when he comes in and he gives Marguerite Monroe the little box, that's like a small little box that would have
when you see
jewelry,
the shirt come out of that box,
and she opens it and his whole ass flannel shirt comes out of it. That's some good like staging right there. I think they did a really good job of like the movie magic of like it's sitting on the bench so she can open it and it's like coming from underneath. It's like, oh my God, what is happening? And when Robot Voice Kid is doing his talent, which is what? Summoning the winds.
Just summoning
winds.
Summoning the elements. Yeah.
But like isn't there a kid that like does a somersault, does like a cartwheel?
I think so.
I think there's like a kid that does a cartwheel in the wind. There's like glitter. Yeah, that shit is pretty good. But again, it's absurdist. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But like, I don't know. I love it. Yeah, I think the thing about this is 2001, I feel like Paul Rudd is like it's difficult to say, but he's kind of at the peak of his hotness. Like I said, if you see him in some of the scenes, and in some of the scenes, not only is he wearing 501s, but in other scenes, he's wearing cut-off jean shorts that are mid-thigh. Mm. And like I said, he's got thick thighs. You really see it in this movie. You're like, damn, Paul Rudd, you have a fat ass. Like, when did that happen?
All of the lake scenes.
Yeah.
When he's making out with
Elizabeth Banks, just shirtless. Yeah. Him, Chris Meloni, super hot.
You smell like a burger.
You smell like a burger. I don't like you anymore.
I don't like you anymore.
That
little Kyle
Gallner. Little Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Gallner of Scream 5.
He's in a lot of stuff.
I mean, I know, but yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street's Kyle Gallner.
Strange Darling.
Yeah. It's your job to make sure we don't drown. Is that the point in the movie where you're just like, oh, okay.
The little boy on the
throwing him out of the moving van?
Well, there's that, but also the little kid with the boat.
When that little kid drives away in the boat.
Yeah.
Because that little boy is tiny. He's like a little kid.
And I'm sure that the driver is just sort of like...
just hunched down.
Hunched down. Mm-hmm.
When the boat drives by and he's waving both his arms in the air, he's like, woo, look at me. That shit is hilarious. I did notice that at the beginning of the movie, that little boy it looked like he's wearing red.
Yeah, he has like a little red swim brief.
It's his bathing suit.
Yeah. It's like a little...
Yeah, but it looked like
a little swim brief.
He was only wearing that like in the bunk, and then he puts his sweatpants over. So I feel like the idea is like this kid's just wearing his bathing suit like his underwear.
Yeah. He's been wearing it all day.
Yeah.
I mean,
and just slept in it and then put his pants on over it.
The radio kid that... There's always that kid in camp that has never taken a shower.
Yeah. I mean,
at the end of the summer, the counselors have to literally throw him in a shower.
Your parents are coming tomorrow, and you will be clean.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing when you're a kid and you're in these situations where it's like, all right, now I have to take a shower and like get all butt naked in front of everybody. We've talked about this. My high school, we had a shower. And it was a big room with faucets.
Oh, I would imagine that Camp Firewood probably had open showers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Craziness. We were children. But yeah, where were we? Oh yeah, we're talking about Firewood scene. You mentioned it briefly. You've got barbecue sauce in your face. That shit. The way it goes from her mouth to like all over her face in one scene, in one shot. Mm-hmm. Too good. And I'm sure that was just a continuity thing. Like maybe it was in error, but they're like, just keep it.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
It's funny.
Like it's funny.
It works.
You're getting it. It's moving. It's moving. You smell like a burger. Oh my God. I love it. I die.
Wrapping up thoughts about this movie.
Yeah.
And like kind of the last big talent show scene.
Mm-hmm.
I love the kid that goes to the talent show and his talent is balancing a broom.
I feel like that's very summer camp.
That's something
summer
that
camp
is very
talent.
summer camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does it for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
the song that like one of the girls bunks like all sing to each other. Yeah.
And this goes out to bunk number 7. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, all right, girls.
So I have a little list here.
All right.
Of movie summer camps. I'm going to name the camp, and I want to see if you can name the movie or TV show.
All right.
That the summer camp is from.
Okay, I'll try.
Camp Firewood.
Camp Firewood. This is Camp Firewood.
Yeah, this is Camp Firewood.
All right.
Camp Walden.
Walden?
Mm-hmm. This has a big opening summer camp set piece where the characters meet. Camp Walden. That's how like subtle this camp name is, because of course it's Camp Walden.
Parent Trap?
It's the Parent Trap.
What does Camp Walden have to do with anything?
I mean, it's just Walden.
Like Walden Woods?
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Camp Anawanna.
Camp Anawanna, Salute Your Shorts.
Go listen to our Salute Your Shorts episode.
Wait. Go listen to our Salute Your Shorts episode. It is on the Patreon. Listeners, we have released it.
Unexpected visitor that knocks on our door of this episode.
Oh my God, I'm still
kind of insane.
I'm still traumatized. We got a knock on the door during the episode.
We were talking about the Zeke the Plumber episode, and we had a crazy woman say that there was a fire in our apartment building as we were recording.
Yeah. I can't even do it. I'm still scared.
Camp North Star.
Camp North Star makes me wanna fart. I'm going to say Camp North. Is it a movie or is it a TV
It's
show?
a movie. It's a big inspiration behind What a Hot American Summer.
Meatballs.
It's Meatballs.
All right.
Camp Hope.
Camp Hope.
I saw that Paul Feig just did a big Q&A for this movie because they just showed it at the Vista or something.
Paul Feig.
Camp Feig is acts in this movie. He did not direct it.
Oh, okay. And he's in it, and it is Heavyweights.
Heavyweights.
Yay.
We randomly watched Heavyweights last year.
Did.
And I had a good time.
Yeah, that was
I
fun.
think that movie holds up.
Yeah.
Camp Ivanhoe.
Camp Ivanhoe.
There's a little summer camp scenes of this movie. Boy Scouts are big characters of this movie. It is a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh. That is going to be the Royal Tenenbaums?
No. They don't go to summer camp on the Royal Tenenbaums.
The summer camp in Wes Anderson movie is the kids, the Moonlight Kingdom. Moonlight Kingdom.
Moonrise
Kingdom is what I said. That's what I said.
Camp Ovation. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. This would have been around the time that we were renting Wet Hot American Summer. I remember we watched this movie with it.
Is it just called Camp?
It's Camp.
Yeah, I knew that. I've never seen it, but I knew it.
I thought this one was interesting. Just called The Camp. You're never going to guess this. It is from the Babysitter's Club movie.
Oh, okay. I never would have.
Camp Calloway. Speaking of the Parent Trap, the Olsen twins movie, It Takes Two. They go to Camp Calloway.
Okay.
Camp Little Wolf. We have
Wolf.
covered an episode on this.
Adam's
we have
Family,
done
Adam's
another
Family Values.
Not Adam's Family. We have done another summer camp movie. It is called Camp Little Wolf.
Camp Little Wolf. Oh. Little Darlings.
Little Darlings.
Yay.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Camp Crystal Lake, Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Do you remember what the Adam's Family Values camp is called?
Adam's Family Values. That was called... Gosh, I don't know what that one's called.
Camp Chippewa.
Camp Chippewa. I should have known that.
And then we'll just finish it up with Camp Nowhere. From the movie Camp Nowhere.
Camp Nowhere, yeah. Mm-hmm. I had that. I got him okay. I did an okay job.
You did pretty good.
I did better than I thought I would. I love that. Summer camp. Did I miss out? Maybe.
I remember.
I feel like I would have had, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's all like hearsay and stories and none of it ever really happened. But like, I don't know. Maybe you're like getting jerked off at summer camp. Like,
I mean, I have talked to straight coworkers that lost their virginity at summer camp
to boys
when they were like 12 years old.
Oh my God.
No, like straight boys.
Yeah. Crazy.
So it's like
but I'm saying
some
getting jerked
wild
off by,
shit
like, other
happens
boys.
at summer camp, and I'm sure that can also happen too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Conversion camp.
Yeah. I remember there was a Boy Scout camp in the mountains outside of my hometown.
Oh.
That I remember we would go there for 4-H camp, and I remember the day after we graduated high school, like the last day of school, we all went up there at night and drank.
Love that.
And slept in the cabins.
Love that.
Like it was straight up a scene from a horror movie.
Like, did you break into the cabins?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, they were just unlocked.
They were unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
But because why would you lock them?
I remember us spending the night there.
Oh my God.
And we drank by a bonfire.
Oh
and
my God.
we were just out of high school.
Who bought you children liquor?
I mean, we had some connections.
Probably some 21-year-olds that were still hanging out with the high school kids.
We always had friends that were over 21.
Yeah, I know.
When we were that age.
I know.
For those very reasons.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, I guess I did miss out. Well, you know. We can go camping anytime we want now.
But yeah, Wet Hot American Summer, such a fun movie.
Yes, definitely.
And like I mentioned before, there's something for the straights, there's something for the gays. Mm-hmm. For a movie with scenes like this, I think it's impressive of how well it's aged. That I would never call this movie homophobic. I think its heart is in the right place with all of these scenes. Sure. And how much fun that they got to stage a love scene like that.
Yeah.
With those two actors. Yeah. I think that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's holding strong at 39% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is some bullshit.
One of the worst reviews of Roger Ebert's career was for this movie.
Yeah.
Which, for somebody like Roger Ebert, I think that is quite the accomplishment that if you can boast the worst review Ebert ever wrote was for Wet Hot American Summer. Because he wrote it in a summer camp rhyme. Like a summer camp song.
That's crazy.
It's terrible. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, if you don't like the movie, write an actual review of how you don't like the movie. Maybe you don't need to write a summer camp song.
Yeah, I feel like that goes, like, so far out of the way. To, like... Because the amount of time that you have to put in to, like, making it rhyme and all that stuff. Isn't it? Okay, so look at that. 39% on the tomometer. But the popcomometer, which needs a new name, popcorn meter, that's better, which I guess is the user rating, 75%.
As it should be.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not in the 80s.
I'm surprised it's that low. Yeah, but I mean, 39% over 77 reviews. So, yeah, never really. Critics' consensus: What Hot American Summer's incredibly talented cast is too often outmatched by a deeply silly script that misses its targets at least as often as it skewers them. This movie is not available for streaming on any of the services. You would need to rent it. So you can rent it on Amazon Prime.
I'm looking at
Apple Movies,
in its limited release that when it opened in New York City, this movie came out the same day as Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
If you
I saw that in the theater.
If you want to put yourself into where you were the summer of 2001. We've talked about on episodes the summer movie season of 2001. And I mean, there was a lot of movies from my childhood, summer of 2001. And What Hot American Summer apparently was a part of that.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the other thing of like putting yourself where you were. It's like that summer, and then what? Couple months later, we all remember where we were.
I mean, it was a fun summer leading up to fall.
Yeah. But so if you want to watch this movie, you will have to rent it, or you dig out your 24-year-old DVD.
Hopefully, your Wi-Fi works.
Mine. Hopefully, the great Spectrum outage of 2025 is well in our rearview mirror.
They need to do a reissue of this disc.
They should.
Kind of surprised that nobody like Arrow or Shout has done a reissue of this.
Yeah.
Probably something that would be more around the lines of Shout Factory.
I would think so, yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, the DVD itself does have some good stuff on there, like we said. There's the commentaries.
You just have to transfer. You just have to transfer all of the old.
Yeah.
I don't know how a movie like this would look like in a 4K or a Blu-ray master.
Yeah, might not really make that much of a difference, but get somebody to transcribe it and get some subtitles on there. Have an actual person transcribe it and not the old AI, and we're golden. Got yourself a special edition Blu-ray.
David Wain hasn't directed a lot of movies lately. It looks like he's pretty much only been doing TV.
Okay. I mean, it's working.
Oh, he did. They Came Together with Amy Poehler.
Yeah,
and
I remember
Paul
that.
Rudd.
I remember that.
I remember thinking that was pretty funny. I never got into stuff like Children's Hospital.
Right.
That type of humor, I would say it's even different than something like this.
Yeah. That Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Late night,
never quite
live action stuff.
And that's okay.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's totally fine. It's like, whatever works. If you like this, though, and again, The State is something that you can find. You can find that on Paramount Plus. Reno 911 is on Paramount Plus.
We're doing a soft Reno 911 rewatch right now.
Yeah. Season 1, so good.
Yeah, pretty strong out of the gate.
Yeah, and all around this time, too. So, if you love partially scripted or
improv-based
stuff.
I think Reno 911 came out in 2003.
Oh, you're right. It did come out in 2003.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a couple years later. But, if you're interested in kind of where this show started and the roots of that, all those people are there. And then the sequels are on Netflix available. I mean, we weren't exactly raving about them, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't watch them.
I'd like to give them another
I was going to say.
I've been trying to go back since you renewed Netflix. I've been trying to go back to all of the Netflix series
Original
that
stuff,
I may have started and I didn't finish.
Yeah.
I think that Dark Crystal Age of Resistance is going to be next.
You should. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a 4K stream on our TV. It looks fantastic.
I've been going through a lot of the Mike Flanagan stuff.
Yeah.
And I might give the Wet Hot American Summer series another try.
Yeah. I would do that if you want to watch that. I would get in on that. But this was a fun episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to it. I'm glad we were able to just sit down and watch this movie properly.
We're doing new movies this month on the podcast.
We are.
I considered doing a Megan 2.0 episode.
But guess what? Guess what happened with Megan this weekend in the theaters? Floptina, mama.
No one really cares. I mean, is it going to be our new Gremlins 2, the new batch?
Maybe.
Where it just kind of takes a real like right-hand turn.
Yeah.
With its tone.
But hey, Gremlins 2 has an audience.
Yeah.
Like, we love it all these years later. I loved it in theaters when I saw it. But maybe I think it's probably good. I think it's probably fine. But I don't know. Didn't really have the wheels that Megan 1.0 had. So we switched around our schedule, but head over to our Instagram for our July.
We're doing some fun movies this month.
Yeah. Our July schedule is up, and you're good to go. But I guess since...
is that time?
Yeah, I guess since we're wrapping this
Patreon
up,
shout-outs?
it should just be around that time for some Patreon shout-outs.
Let's hear them.
Well, we've got some new patrons that we would like to say hello to, so let's go over and find them now that we've got Wi-Fi again. So we'd like to say a great big thank you and hello to all of our wonderful patrons, including new patrons like David, Chava, Kitsch Barbie Clubhouse, Ronnie, Matt, Carla, Leah, Megan, Rachel, Andrew, Stephen, Leah, Espy, Brian, Richard, Mark, Deja, Amy, Erica, Anna, our friends at How Do You Drew, Andy, Kate, Pep, Roberto, Daisy, Kelly, Chrissy, Laura, Thomas, Lori, Brenna, Jess, Lawrence, Lisa, Alexis, Thomas, Millie, Ted, Benny, Melanie, Susan, Paul, Jamie, Drew, Genevieve, Dawn, Josh, Aaron, Nick and Shannon, Christine, and Rufino. You guys, thank you so much for being patrons.
We have such fun stuff on the Patreon this summer.
We do. We've got a lot of great stuff.
That you will get our summer series where we're watching our favorite episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race. At the $5 level, also at the $5 level, you will get the TV shows that keep us gay. Our episode on Salute Your Shorts just came out.
Yes.
We're having a summer camp.
We are. We're having a summer camp summer.
A summer camp summer.
That is for sure.
So that's also there at the $5 level.
Yeah.
And then at the $10 level, you'll get the Watch With Us commentary.
Yes,
where
indeed.
our Predator episode is there.
Yes, we just did Predator. Really fun movie.
Predator.
Very straight dude, coded, but we spend most of the movie just gushing about Arnold Schwarzenegger and how great he is and how beautiful he is in this movie. But go watch Predator. She's fierce. We love her.
I was trying to decide is Predator a lady?
She could be. She's an alien.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lady in our
I like to
books.
think that Predator is a lady.
She's got those nails.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the fishnet bodysuit.
Yeah.
Love it. She's got the hair. Predator's a gal.
She's fierce.
Yeah, she's fierce. We love her.
But yeah, that's there at the $10
Yeah,
level. So you'll get a lot of cool shit.
There's a lot of really
if you
fun
subscribe
stuff.
in the Patreon.
Yeah. And we love interacting with all of our patrons. All of our wonderful patrons get to leave comments, and we interact there. We've got some patrons that go back all the way. Christine and Rufino and Daisy. You guys are wonderful. We love interacting with you and commenting on Patreon and on Instagram and all that fun stuff. So patreon.com/movies that made us gay.
If you wanted to write us a review, give us 5 stars. We'd love to see it.
If you are on Apple Podcasts or if you're on Spotify, go ahead and give us 5 stars and write us a review. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, Apple Podcasts is pre-installed. So check it out. We haven't had a review in a while on iTunes. So head over and write us one and we'll read it. And we've got 204 ratings and we're at a 4.9 on Apple Podcasts, which is really, really great. We love that. And we love to keep that going. You can follow our socials. We're most active on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, like I said earlier, we're at Movies That Made Us Gay. And we love interacting with comments, posts, all that fun stuff. So anytime you see something that you like, give it a like, write a comment, post it in your stories, send it to your friends, save it, all that stuff, all those interactions help our little show reach a wider audience. So check us out there.
Yeah.
We're also on Blue Sky and
we're on all of
Threads,
them.
but we're most active on Instagram, and we love interacting. So check us out.
Go ahead and follow our personal accounts. I'm Scott Youngballer on Instagram, and follow my letterbox.
Yes, indeed. I'm at Peter Lasagna on Instagram, and follow Scott's letterbox. So get to see what we're watching lately. We're heading to the theater tomorrow to see something in 4DX.
We're going to talk about it on the episode.
We sure are. So that'll be fun times. Until then, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.